This been going on so long in America that Americans can't hide it anymore. And the reason why Americans can't hide it is because they can't afford it. People are not paying their bills anymore. They're just giving up, losing hope. And I know bills come out the woodwork when you're not thinking about them, but people are fighting back by not paying the bills. And it's getting so scary out here. We don't know what's about to happen next. I got a couple of bills I ain't been paying in a while. And I know it's crazy. When you're in so much debt, it's like, what can you do? And you're not getting any pay raises. So in this video, we're about to see what America's been going through because it's getting out of hand.
People are literally getting to a point where they're working all the time and they no longer can afford to pay their bills without doing shit on the side. It's absolute insanity to have to work anywhere from 12 to 18 hours a day just to still not be provided with enough to survive. And then it's like whenever you bring it up, people will try to make you out to be the problem when that's so far from the truth. We're all out here working as hard as we can. We're cutting back where we can. And it's like we're working 1,000,000 hours a day and it's still not ever enough. And something else that I hate about this society that we created is how you get provoked and provoked and provoked way beyond past your breaking point. And then as soon as people get a reaction out of you, as soon as you get angry, as soon as you have a crash out, people make you out to be the problem. People will tell you that you're toxic. People will tell you that you're crazy, lazy, any name that they could come up with. It's like, when are we going to stop blaming the working class? Because we're literally out here working ourselves to death. And it's almost like we encourage each other to work ourselves to death. This shit isn't normal. And I feel like we all need to collectively come to an agreement that something needs to change.
The number one reason why Americans are struggling to pay bills is because they don't have enough money to pay the bills.
So, about a year ago, I kind of had a nervous breakdown and stopped participating in capitalism. And what I mean by that is like, I stopped paying my bills and stopped giving a shit about my credit score that I had been working years and years and years to fix, because as I paid more and more, they were like, penalty. And so I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I just stopped. And like, now I'm getting all these things in the mail where they're like, you owe us money. And I'm like, prove it. And my credit score is somehow going up. It's like, we see all the hard work you've done at ignoring this. So, like, we're going to give you points, because that's, I think, how it really works. So, anyway, I guess the point is none of this is real. We're on a big floating rock in the middle of, the universe. And it's all made up and the points don't matter. You're doing great.
I never once paid a dime of my student loans, and I am more than fine. This country tries to control us with fear and fear of debt. Treat it like it doesn't exist. I'm telling you right now, do not pay. What can they do? Okay, so after you graduate from your university, like 6 months to a year later, you start getting all the bills from Sally Mae and you got to get on a payment plan. Do not pay. What can they do? You're going to get letters in the mail, right? And then you're going to start getting phone calls. Block them. One more person to block. Just hang up. These bills that come in the mail, it's just paper. It's just paper. I promise you, do not pay. I'm going to tell you why. Because I know a lot of you are like, well, then I'm going to have bad credit. Credit for what? Credit for what? For that $1.8 million house you're about to buy? Let's get real. Let's get real, okay? The amount of little bit of hard times that your credit will give you is not worth the 15 to 20 hours a week extra you are going to have to work to pay off the student debt. It is not worth your life. Do not pay. So based on my experience, after about 8 to 10 years, the letters and the phone calls definitely start dwindling. I've moved around a bunch in my 20s. They kind of couldn't get in touch with me, or it took them a while before they could. And then after that, your credit starts over again. It starts over again. I still have my education. I still have everything I learned. I still can use that to my benefit. And it should have been free. My goal in my life, and I've always stuck to it, is I'm not paying for anything if I should be getting it for free. Healthcare, I cracked the code. We can talk about that another time, but I'm telling you, do not pay. It is not worth your sanity. It is not worth your time. They are just controlling you with fear. They tried, everyone in my generation controlled with fear. Pay off your debt. It's going to ruin your life. Pay off your debt. It's going to ruin your life. No. Not paying my debt made my life so much better. And also keep in mind that there are other ways to raise your credit if that's so vitally important to you. There are other ways to take out a credit card, pay it on time. Like right now, like I never paid Sally Mae once. My credit 702 got me asking where my girl's at. I'm telling you, do not pay.
Has any other millennial just decided that they're not paying off their debt? That there's just no point? They're not paying off the student loans. They're not addressing the medical bills. You're not addressing the credit card debt. You don't give a fuck about debt to income ratio. You're just deciding that you're not going to do. I don't want a $600 to $700, $800, $900 car note. I don't. I have a 2013 Kia. It's paid for. I don't want that car note. I have decided that I do not need to use my credit. If I can't buy it cash, I don't need to dip into this realm of basically saying you can't afford it, so use your credit until you're able to pay it off. I don't want to live an aesthetically pleasing lifestyle. If that's you, that's you. Hustle culture has taken up a majority of my life, and I don't want any part of it anymore. Chasing the next dollar, I do not want to do. Trying to pay off my debt, credit utilization tools, FICO score, I don't want any part. And I just decided that, like, even when my kids get old enough to move out, I'm like, I'm just going to fucking downsize, bitch. I might live out of a fucking car. Like, I don't even care at this point. They have their whole lives ahead of them. Mine is behind me. Mine is pretty much behind me. And I'm just at the point where I'm like, you know what? I don't want to participate anymore. I don't want to participate in whatever this fucking is. I'm only going to put into the economy what I benefit out of it, which are necessities. And if it's not a necessity, I do not want any parts of it. I don't need it. And I'm damn sure not going to use credit to get it, because credit's just another way of saying you can't afford it. You're basically living out of your means right now. And that's why you're using your credit until you're able to pay it off. You're using your credit because you don't have the cash right now. And if you did have it, you wouldn't use credit. I don't want it. Fuck the debt. I'm over it.
I ain't never paying that hospital bill. Y'all can start calling me. Y'all can start sending me shit in the mail. It ain't never getting paid for. You did what I'm saying? As soon as I fuck my shit up again, I'll be back. It's y'all right. Y'all gotta see me no matter what. I ain't got to hear from y'all. I'm finna get a whole new phone real soon. Y'all ain't gonna be able to contact me. I'm finna move some more shit. I got to get the... You know what I'm saying? I'm finna start going to different ones. I don't even know. I know y'all want your money. And I'm here to tell you, you ain't getting your money. I'm sorry, I can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? If I could afford it, I would've went to somebody who could get me right then and there. I waited long as hell just to go to the back for an x-ray. You know what I'm saying? That's some shit that should be on standby. You did. Like, this shit is hell. I don't know, man. Get this shit together. Please.
Yeah, I don't pay my bills. God does. Call me delusional, 'cause I am. On paper, for the past decade, it doesn't make sense. Yet, everything keeps getting better. Everything keeps getting better. And the more I lean into this whole idea, this whole truth that God pays my bills and not me, the less actually I have to do. The more I get to show up for my kids, the more I get to rest, the more I get to actually enjoy my life. Oh man, the more I get to be a human being instead of a human doing. Dude. We did not come here for this human experience to be worried about money, which is fucking made up, to be worried about bills, which are really fucking not even real, dude, right? Like, God created us to live in this world that he created and to enjoy it. God didn't create us to suffer. God didn't create us to work a 9 to fucking 5. What would be the point of all of this? What would be the point of all of this? And it's so beautifully created and orchestrated that what we're just supposed to miss all of this by grinding and hustling and being indoors, either, just working for the money, working for the man. I don't pay my bills. God does. And unexpected money always pops up when I need it. So I'm getting even more delusional, even more audacious, with even more conviction of like, yeah, I'm not just gonna have what I need in the moment. God is gonna fucking bless me with, whoa, dude. Wow, dude. Yeah, so call me fucking delusional, because I absolutely am. Say I need to be realistic, and I'll be like, absolutely not. It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't have to. I don't have to spend all of my life force energy trying to figure it out. I move when God tells me to move. I take action when God tells me to take action. And then I just trust the fucking process. Is it hard? Yeah, until it's not. Does it make you want to vomit at times? Does it make you really question your faith and all of that? Yeah, 100%. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass and make you think that it's all sunshine and fucking cupcakes. You've got to address the programs and lies in your mind. You're only limited by what you limit yourself, because God is limitless. So if you just lean on God and let him be your sugar daddy, God will. Trust.
So I just found out that 30% of Americans are not paying their bills. Yeah, you heard that right. 30% of Americans are not paying their bills. Now, if we look at the entire U.S. population, we'll round it up to 350 million. Let's say 350 million. Now, anywhere between 50 and 100 million of those people are not paying bills. They're not old enough to have expenses or be responsible for those expenses. So let's just wipe out, let's say 50 million to make it easy. So 350 down to 300 million. That means if 30% of Americans are not paying their bills, that is a little under 100 million people have just said, nah, I'm good. I'm okay. Not paying my rent. Landlord, kick rocks. Fuck off. Car, nah, who cares? Let the dealer eat that one. Who gives a fuck? Nah, it's my car. You're going to have to take it out of my cold, dead hands is what they're saying. And look, first and foremost, I have to give them all the respect in the world, because if you're telling your creditor to fuck off, you're giving them the middle finger. Shit, you might be giving them 2 middle fingers and just saying, nah, not getting money this month. Nah, not getting money next month. Maybe 3 months. No, 3 months. That's a little bit too soon. Like, respect to you. Now, for some of these people, it might just be desperation. They don't have a choice. They don't have another option. This is option A, B, C, D, E combined. This is the only way out. So for them, not as much respect, at least in terms of the cojones part. I understand where you're coming from, though. And I hope that the financial struggles those people are going through get alleviated sooner than later, if at all. I hope they get alleviated, because I hate seeing this. And really, all jokes aside, though, it is disheartening to see that many people just giving up on paying bills. Not because it's a moral thing, like, oh, you should pay your creditors off. No, it's not about that. It's just the fact that they're in a position where they literally can't make another choice, where the only choice is to say, no, you're not getting paid. My heart goes out to people, because I see them every day. I drive them every day. I'm not in great areas when I drive around. I'm not going out to the wealthy areas to pick people up. Very rarely do I. I'm always in the poorer neighborhoods. I'm always at the lowest income bracket, the bottom of the bottom. So I see these people. I talk to these people. They're great human beings. They're wonderful human beings. They're some of the nicest, most caring, empathetic people I've ever met. And they can't pay their bills. And it's fucked.
What's up, America? The United States may be going into a full credit crisis. And that's because people can't pay their credit cards or loans or car payments whatsoever anymore. You see, the cost of living here in the United States is so great that a great deal of people are falling behind on paying car payments and credit card bills. Now, a lot of people over the last couple of years actually took out credit cards simply so they could afford groceries, knowing they couldn't pay them. Same with the car loans. They knew that they needed a car, but they simply couldn't afford it, but they did it fucking anyway. Now, what would cause a large percentage of the population to do something like that? Take on debt knowing they could not afford it. Well, that comes from a mix of desperation and necessity, you see? Desperation because you have to eat and take care of your family, can't be living on the streets, and necessity. Somehow you have to eat, so if you have to fucking game the system, then you're gonna do it. And that's plunged America into a full-fledged credit crisis because, simply speaking, very few people can pay their bills on time. About 70% of Americans are either struggling to pay their bills or are just not paying some of them to pay others. And credit cards are not being paid so that people can pay utility bills and rent and buy groceries. Still, this was supposed to be the golden age of America, where people actually had more money and it had an easier time buying shit. But so far, most of us have gotten nothing but a giant turd. Yes, that's right, a giant financial fucking turd.
People got a lot going on in their life. They're trying to keep up. People are mentally drained. And then, while people are mentally drained, here comes another bill. So at the end of the day, you have to take care what's best for you. Because if you don't, your mind is going to be running 1,000 miles per second. And you're not going to get nothing done because you're stressed out about bills. So that's why people are just giving up. And I know people are going through it because the cost of living is just steady increasing. Living in this world is becoming difficult. And I know them bills will still be there. You're going to have bills forever. You're not going to escape paying bills. I know you want to keep your bills low as possible. But when you're not getting any increases at work and they're cutting your overtime, it's going to be hard for you to maintain your life. And I know a lot of people will say, well, you just don't know how to manage your money. And that's not true. Because you can do the best managing in the world and still have outrageous bills. And I know that's the first thing you're going to think about is that, well, you shouldn't have went out there and got all these bills. Sometimes these bills become essential. You didn't have a choice. Life goes on. Reality happens. That's where people always go wrong. They think when you going to work and you just living from paycheck to paycheck, things don't happen in your life. You may have a car one day and then you get into an accident, you don't have a car no more. So now you got to start over. That's life. And then you may be running late for work one day because you got to take care of yourself or something is going on. And then when you tell your job you're going to be late for work, they want to give you points and all this crazy things. So it just don't make no sense. So you just want to just relax sometimes. And I know it doesn't seem right, but it do seem right because once you stop paying your bills, and you just be late because they're going to have to get paid sooner or later, but you just be late. Okay, you're going to have to pay the late fee. And a lot of people been paying a late fee because they ain't got no choice. It's like your money is already tied up before your paycheck comes out. And then when your paycheck get here, you broke. Some people broke before they even get paid. Ain't that crazy? Before they even get paid. You didn't have no money in your account. And then, once you get paid, you already know where your bills is going. And then you holding off on buying things that you need. Sometimes you've been holding off situations for months. because you're not caught up on bills. And then it seems like it's a never ending cycle. So that's why a lot of people are just going through this. It's too much that's going on to even worry about. That's why you see nobody smiling. People in so much debt. They feel like their life is just evolved around money now. And that's the sad situation, because life didn't used to be like this. The world is changing. And a lot of people are not ready for this change. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse. So that's my take on this situation. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Share it in the comments. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace.